Good morning. Hello. Howdy do? Just out, getting the day going. Um, Last night I saw the news about um, Israel and Hamas. I learned about that. So that's the thing. Good morning, trees. Sandy. Good morning. Yeah, that's kind of like disappointing. Like I didn't like what I was hearing. I was disappointed about the Israel and Hamas Palestine. I I think is like where all that conflict is happening. War is good for a few. Dr. Mordecai, I do agree with that because there's people who are making the bullets and the bombs and stuff and all the machinery that helps deploy those ammunitions into their enemy. Yeah, the industrial war machine is going to make some money. They're getting to sell their bullets. Look at the trees is saying Israel has been treating Palestinians like trash for decades, cutting off their water and resources. It's wild. Actually, I came across it last night. We're sitting down to eat dinner, and I saw all the news feed was filled up with the Israel and Hamas issue. And we watched one of the current ones, and one popped up from 1978. And I'm not sure if I'm going to say this news anchor correctly. Krokoff? Uh, I'm not going to say it correctly. Um, yeah, we watched something that was back, from 1978 about a conflict. It has been going on for even longer than that. It is. Yeah. So I seen that. I have been informed of that stuff. All these conflicts out there. Yeah. Just getting my fingers warmed up. Seen some other cooler stuff. Um, Something I thought was pretty damn cool. There is a company called Rewind, and it's like a necklace, and it has a microphone attached to it, and it will record everything you say throughout your day, and it holds it. It doesn't like upload it to a cloud or anything. You have your you have control of that information, and like you have to plug it in to something else and download it and then decide what you're going to do with that if you do anything. Um, I thought that was a pretty interesting new uh, tech thing that has come out, along with another uh, thing that is a pendant, and it you can talk to it to do chat GBT and stuff like that, and you can hold out your hand and it will beam a message onto your hand, or the time and date and all that stuff. Pretty wild, pretty cool. Yep. I've got a new video that was released this morning, a little music video, and I did some puppeteering with that and like forced perspective to try to make things seem larger than they are. Um, yeah, that one was fun to play around with, and uh, Kendra and my youngest son, they were a part of that one. That was some good times making that one. And I'm in the process of getting it to where I want to record a live performance of Kendra and I performing the Truth Claims album, or not Truth Claims, the Fallacious Thoughts and Behaviors. I want to um, do a live performance of that. I've been working out through the issues to be able to do that. I am going to pre record it and then put it out, but I want an uncut one. I want to um, show us actually performing it in an uncut version. Uh, but I've been working through the the obstacles to make that. But I think I've just about gotten it to where it's going to be able to be put together and put it out there. Um, and it's kind of putting a little bit of pressure on us to like be able to perform and like get us to the point to where we can get out there and start going to places and playing shows. That's what I've been planning on and working on. I've been running into other things like the speakers I wanted to use. It's weird, they make a choppiness happen. We found this out last night. It was almost like the music had skips in it, kind of like a listening to a record player, and it was challenging to play through the set because you never know, you might jump up ahead of time. It's some kind of latency uh, issue I have from uh, Bluetoothing the speaker. I think Dr. Mordecai says you should have someone in a bear suit and kill y'all all while you're performing. Do some biblical stuff. Yeah, see, there are some theatrics we have been thinking about that and ideas to do. That one would be a good one. Yeah, probably because we've been blaspheming God, right? So God's gonna send some bears and tore up a whole bunch of little kids. Yeah. Oh my goodness. It got chilly, and I actually kind of like got the shivers a little bit. It's like really nice, but kind of annoying too, because like I'm trying to keep my composure. uh, ah, yes. That's what's been going on in my bubble. Just watch Cocaine Bear. Yeah, we saw that one a couple of weeks ago. Uh, some ridiculousness. It wasn't that bad though. I didn't have very high expectations for it, but it was humorous. It did tell a good story. Um, but yeah, and then the Cubs, they all get a hold of it too. Oh shit. Yeah. Um, that one was pretty good. That one was pretty good. Yeah. What else has been happening? What else has been going on? It's just like one thing I've been thinking about is these pauses that I have in my speech whenever I'm talking. And I do that because I'm thinking about what I'm going to say next. I try to think about what I'm going to say. And I think that habit of doing that started from a moment whenever I was in high school. And I was on the school bus where being taken home, and there was a cop that had a car pulled over, and I stuck my head out the window and flipped off the cop. That cop um, got into his vehicle, pulled the bus over, and was able to ID me. And I even like switched seats. I was like, holy shit. Uh, I didn't expect him to freaking come and pull us over. I thought he was busy with the other person on the street. Well, he was able to ID me because, well, I was the only long haired kid that had brown hair. And he pulled me off the bus and got my information. And of course, they let my parents know. And I got in a lot of trouble. And that moment was one of those moments where I was like beating myself up and I was like, I need to think about what I'm doing before I do it. Um, so I think that's one reason, like, I have those moments where I'm talking and I say part of a statement and then I have a pause and then I finish my statement. And I think I do it to the point to where some people think like the frame has frozen. I have been on panels and they were like, "Oh, I think Tobin froze up. The you know the internet must be lagging." And I'm like, "No, no, I'm here. I am just thinking at the moment. I have personally frozen up, or you know, thinking about what I'm gonna say next." I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I listen to other people talk, and they don't have those pauses. See, like right there, I just did it. And I'm doing it again right now. Cosmic Kyle, good morning. Yeah, never hurt a pig's feelings. Yeah. I don't really have a complete disdain for police officers, people who are in those authority places. Like one time I had a newspaper route and there was a shortcut from the neighborhood to get to the main road. And most of the time it was all right to take this shortcut, but it had rained a shit ton. And I took that shortcut and got stuck. And some officers noticed that I was stuck back there. And they got a tractor. I just so happened to be broken down right where they had a tractor, and they knew the people, and they got me pulled out of the mud. Like I was sitting there trying to figure out what the fuck I was gonna do. You think about it. It takes time for you to think about. Yeah, I have been thinking about whether or not it is a good thing or a bad thing, or if I should just, kind of accept it, that it is all right to stop and think about what you're going to say. These long pauses, in a way, like to have the dead silence, is, I, I want to say, like frowned upon, or like it's not something that, like on radio play, when you're on television and stuff, things are like, there's not supposed to be those moments where you pause and think, or I don't know, I don't know, or maybe I should just say whatever I need to say it. I don't know. Maybe I'm being weird. Yeah. Oh shit. Like my legs right now, like I think I might need to go put on socks. Like holy shit. My legs just started doing that thing where it's like they're shaking. It's actually cool enough to make me kind of like shiver. Holy shit. Ah, I have to stand up for a second. Ah, I got my beanie on. I've got to enjoy hot lattes again. I've been drinking everything on ice. Yeah, we do got some of the windows open, the sunlight's coming through. Sunshine, sun shines in the bedroom where we play. The raining always starts when you go away. Sun shines in the bedroom when we play. Always just thought that's how Tobin speaks and never gave much thought to it. Yeah, there are those things that we think about ourselves. And I have been thinking and searching for those things that are truths. Like, I'll give you an example of one. Like, let the tide push you forward. This was a saying that I used to say often, um, but I don't know if it is one of those good phrases, because the idea is that, you don't fight the wave, you don't fight the tide, you just let it take you in and push you to shore, which is great if you're swimming out in the ocean, but can you make it to where it's like an analogy to your situation? Like you shouldn't, like if you meet obstacles, should you not try to fix those and go against it? You know, like with my music, I think I go way across the grain. I do things purposefully because they are not the norm of what the standard and the music industry wants to hear from you. Like fallacious thoughts and behaviors, that whole intro, a three, almost 4 minute intro, uh, with no vocal work, long intros are frowned upon. Um, you're supposed to get right to the case, and you should start singing. Um, I think there's like 30 seconds. It's like 30, 40 seconds that you have that you're supposed to start singing. Like being somebody who is, you know, a songwriter, and you're trying to like, you're supposed to, there is a formula that they want you to follow. And I don't. I'm going right across the grain. Let the tide push you forward. And I used to say this and think it a lot. Like I would run into obstacles and be like, maybe I shouldn't like do this or that, if I'm gonna be fighting it, and I'll go a different route. Which at times I guess it can be useful. It's just a way to describe a moment. Ah, Dave, good morning. Dr. Mordecai, my mind is blank unless I start fantasizing. Thoughts can get pretty intense. They can. I think I'm a emotionally stable person, and I can say this. Uh, I do have a therapist, and um, I have been told that I do not have uh, a clinical uh, depression, or you know any of those. Um, I'm not even sure what to call them. So I don't want to make anyone feel bad. They're just personality traits. See, right here, I'm getting into an area where, like, I'm not confident about what I'm talking about. And I think that causes those points where I have those little pauses where, like, I'm struggling to put a sentence together. It's weird. Yeah, I'm normal crazy, you know? Dave is saying, I suffer from stupid people pissing me off. Otherwise, I do okay most days. Yeah, like I genuinely don't like to feel angry or frustrated. And that's one of the reasons why I did seek therapy is um, I, I do have moments where frustration can get to me, and I feel pretty confident that it's not only bad for you mentally, but health wise, like allowing allowing myself to get worked up in a frustrated way is um, it's not healthy. So yeah, I seek help to try to help me have better tools for how to deal with my feelings, which is something like really I was trying to like be like um, where I don't have any feelings in a way, like kind of like ignoring the feeling to try to be like, I need to figure this out. I need to be logical about this and not let my feelings get in the way of like thinking about this. But yet, the feelings, you know, that those feelings of like disappointment, anger, and like sadness and all that, I think they need to be recognized in a way. You have to like be able to recognize whenever you're feeling those emotions. See, I'm getting off into some weird, I don't know, my feelings, my emotions, how I feel about the world. ah, look at the trees. Uh, Psychiatrist and psychologist diagnosed with PTSD and depression and neurodivergence. Really, I don't know what neurodivergence is. I'm going to look it up right here. Neurodi. Um, I looked it up, but I still don't completely understand. Um, it takes sometimes 2 or 3 times for me to look at something to really understand the concept. Um, that's one thing that I used I used to think was true about myself. I even had a nickname that I called myself uh, 2 times Tobin because I got to do everything 2 times. I like get so close to being done with the project and then look and see there's another piece missing or this thing is, skewed in some way. But I do get it done, you know. It's just a work in progress. I'm sure a lot of people, you know, make those type of mistakes. But yeah, I haven't really called myself that here lately for actually kind of a long time. It often happens whenever I'm having to work something, and there's a big time crunch and you got a lot of pressure to, you know, make something happen. It seems rushing into things and like just trying to bust it out, you are going to come across a flaw or something. Sandy says, I've been in and out, had to multitask to keep from picking up too many emotions that aren't mine this morning. And we kind of reflect our environment and people and there's so much that is affecting us and how we operate. Like the free will argument, like I no longer think, like I think it is more likely that we don't have free will. Like sure, we there's choices that we make, you know, there's decisions that we can make, but there's so much that's uh, affecting us from our environment, whether it be other people or other circumstances that we're not totally in control of. Measure twice before you cut. Dr. Mordecai, that is a very good bit of advice. Um, yeah, because if you cut it too short, then you need to go out to the tool shed and go find me a board stretcher. One of y'all can get out to that tool shed and bring me back the board stretcher. We'll be all right. We'll be okay. But yeah, but I think that's one of the things that can really make the crafting, one of the skills that you can obtain is like working through it and then finding a mistake. You find a flaw and being able to fix that flaw or incorporate it into it to make it its piece. Like that's part of the skill of building is running into those moments where things don't work out quite as you had planned, and then to be able to, you know, create something that is visually stimulating or, works. It has, you know, some kind of usefulness. Sandy says that's why we are divergent, but then again, so are the most creative thinkers of our times. I don't measure. I just go for it. Dr. Mordecai. Yeah. After a while, like looking at that measuring tape and you see them all them little notches, it can yeah. I've gotten into scribing a lot. If I can scribe it, I will scribe it or find something that I can break off that is that size where I have a pattern or something. Sandy is saying, you will never talk me into this idea that I don't have free will. Right on. Yeah, I need to sit because my lips are starting to stick to my teeth. There we go. Ah, yeah. So, yeah, I've been looking for those things that I do, or looking for those ideas that I think are true about myself, and then trying to like think about those ideas more. I've been applying a lot of the like fallacies and cognitive distortions and pointing them at myself a lot here lately. Um, I did spend some time there where I was pointing the finger at everybody else and like wondering how they're wrong and listening all to these different arguments from religion to politics. And I'm glad I did go through that experience. I have learned about many topics, since that moment in time. It was wild because like up to that moment in time, like using the internet was really a privilege. The phones that we used, they did not have great internet access. Um, but yeah, ever since we got to where we had a solid internet connection, I've learned quite a bit. I have explored many subjects on religion and politics. And then as far as like the politics stuff, I wasn't so much interested in like all the different people who are in office. It was more about like the issues. I wanted to know where I stood on all of the issues that make up that political divide. After like I had spent time looking at the religion and philosophy, and I started to get more to where my understanding of it is uh, I understand all the concepts that people are arguing about as far as like religion and philosophy. I still enjoy learning about it, but I think I've ran the gamut of all the arguments that you can have whenever it comes to religion. There might be one or two that I may have glossed over and may have not encountered, but I think for the majority, I'm up to date on all that. And then getting into politics, um, yeah, I was more interested about like where I stood, you know, which side, if a side do I want to pick. Dave says, I would like to have a knob I could turn and tune out everything now and then when my brain is feeling overloaded, thinking about too much shit all at once. And I'd say, Dave, to that, um, meditation, when you take all the spiritual crap out of it, is an exercise that's pretty relaxing, and there's many ways to do it, and it's about putting your focus onto your breathing and you know try not to let yourself think about those things and just bring your focus back to your breathing. Every time you start thinking about something else, bring it back to the breathing. And like there's like whenever it comes to meditating, to me nothing beats um there's these singing bowls. It's a bowl and they have a um rod they go around the bowl. I'm sure y'all have seen this. Y'all probably know what I'm talking about, but it lets out a ring that is just so pleasurable. It just and you just focus on that bell as it um, gets louder and quieter. You just time your breathing with that and keep that as your what sets the pace for your breathing, the sound of that bell as it rings out. And um, I I do find it calming, and it's an exercise to like help for when you are getting frustrated. You can go, this is pissing me off, and being able to uh, deal with that feeling and then deal with the obstacle and make good predictions and decisions, you know, so you can go on enjoying life. That's, I don't know. Sandy says, if by that you mean we can either go, whoa, it just jumped on me as I was reading. If by that you mean we can either go with the flow or swim against the flow and both work depending on circumstances, I'll agree for once with the doctor. I think I may have missed part of the conversation. Determinism pisses me off too. Is this whenever I was talking about, may have been whenever I was talking about don't uh, let the tide push you forward? Or hang on, let me go back up. I think I missed something. Trees was saying, I'm not sure if I fully understand. Oh yeah, and that's whenever we're talking about the neurodivergency. Oh yeah, okay. Predestination and determinism are compatible. Free will and determinize work well together in reality. Determinism pisses me off. I would like to have known I could turn off and tune out everything now and then. My brain feeling overloaded. Yeah, if by that you mean we can either go with the flow, okay. And Sandy says determinism pisses me off. Oh, okay. And this is why uh, you'll agree with um, the doctor. Okay. Y'all agree that determinism is hooey. Okay. And Dave says, I do meditate, but it's still hard to shut it down. Music seems to clear my mind better, but my bucket list does include being at peace with it all, like the Siddhartha. And Dr. Mordecai, you have a thought, and then your brain makes chemicals that we call emotion. Right. Yeah. Our chemical reactions to the firing of synapses, the like electrical impulses, are interacting with the chemicals in our brain. Trees says, I like to sit in the woods and try to be deeply aware of everything: smell, sound, temperature, wind blowing, etc., taking inventory kind of. That's what I use for meditation. And yes, actually that's something that I've recently been turned on to was I mean, just it may be a week or a little more where I've started to practice that as well. um, I was told about walking meditation, and like you're saying, being tuned into all the sounds, and it's about being in the moment, all the sounds, how it feels, and how does the air taste, just taking in the natural environment. And you can do this while walking, and you just keep your focus on those type of things. And um, from what I've been told, everybody, you do start thinking about other things, but the idea is whenever you catch yourself thinking about those other things, bring it back to the focus of, like, what am I experiencing right now, and just being in the moment. And Dave goes on to say, that's me by my pond trees, but weather doesn't always allow this time of year getting covered up. And your pond is beautiful. Yeah, you got a nice little ecosystem going there, Dave. That was pretty cool. Um, Sandy said, if only I could do that now without having to hear all the human noise pollution that It's constant here now. And this is something else I've been thinking about here lately. Like getting to the point to where I just kind of accept that, it's part of communication is, arguments, negative and positive um, statements and stuff. Like I think there's, the idea of like, oh, I'm gonna try to stay out of the drama or whatever. It's part of being social, and I think it's just the way that we deal with um, what may be contrary to what other people are saying. It To getting to the point to where it's not bad if you are saying something to the contrary or hearing somebody say something to the contrary. Like, um, trying to get my focus back to where you had said, you had said, "Oops, I got negative." Zips lips, and uh, I think it's more about how we handle the arguments, and you know, I wouldn't say that there's like don't express what you may think we would think is negative. I'm getting lost in the weeds right here. I'm like, because it's a new thought I have started pondering about. Like, I'm gonna read. Dr. Mordecai says guided meditation is fun. I've never had anyone actually guide me through a meditation. It's always been something that I had read books about, and I've had other people um, give me ideas. I don't have a lot of people where I go. I'm lucky to have places to get away from everyone if I want to. Yeah, that is a privilege that I actually as well. Trees, um, I get, I have more of the solitude kind of thing going on. Although I do have family here, I'm not completely all by myself. All by myself. No one was looking. I was all by myself. Um, and that's one reason why y'all do find me on the internet is because I do enjoy social interactions. Like that is something that is um, a part of my personality traits. Like it's been something that was just been there my a large portion of my life. You know, waking up like in junior high, we would all like uh, get together and go smoke weed, and maybe somebody would have stolen a beer from their dad's stash or some shit. But we'd all like get together and walk into school Um, but yeah, it's just being a and you know and enjoying the interactions. Uh, oh, it moved on me. Pond building is a hobby, Dave. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. I like building things as well. It is, although I'm kind of not in the hobby part of it. Like I'm actually at this point. I can't wait until yeah, I get to mess with that kind of stuff, though. Um, more of the outdoors. How it looks. And the sound of water is soothing. Yeah, mindfulness, getting to where you're more aware of what you are thinking and how it's affecting you. Sandy says, "Don't get lost in my weeds. They are high and thick and have thorns." Woo! I've been in those. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It's funny when we first bought the property over here. Uh, Kendra was wearing a dress, and she tried to walk back into there and was pretty much hung up almost nearly, like didn't even really get to cross over to inside the woods. I was like, yeah, we're gonna have to clear some of this to be able to get back here. um but yeah, I am experienced getting in the weeds and getting caught up on stuff, and I found like my answer to it at this point is stop, you know assess the situation, back up if you need to, you know, and just get in tune with your surroundings. Make sure you're not hacking away at stuff that you shouldn't be, and you're cutting down something that's either tasty or going to be pleasing to the eye. You know, it does have that white noise effect. Yeah, see, Dave, and that would be one of my mantras, as I've been told. Uh, it's your focal point, something that you can either listen to or that you can uh, keep your eyes focused on. A candle and having a still flame, and you just keep your focus on that. And anytime you start thinking about other things, bring it back to the candle. And it's an exercise. um, that would be a great mantra. Mindfulness based on cognitive therapy is a psychological therapy designed to aid in preventing the relapse of depression, specifically in individuals with major depressive disorders. Yeah, I think that is what I'm a part of right now, that cognitive therapy. And it has gotten my thoughts into places where they haven't been yet. It is like I have really enjoyed my time with this person, and um, I only have so many more visits, um, at least for this group. But I might be willing to like do it yearly, even though I may not feel like I have major problems. It's just really nice to connect with somebody on, and have somebody who can look in, let somebody look in and be like, maybe they can see something that can help prevent a certain something happening. I don't know. Um, Preventative maintenance. That is something that is pretty helpful, and it makes it to where you're not having to deal with the problem like while it's broken and it's all like, you yeah, try to mitigate that. Uh, yeah, the old Green Day hidden track. Yeah, I loved that album, and that was the first major concert was Green Day, and that was pretty good. That was pretty entertaining. I actually had seats like up on the side. I wasn't down in the pit, and I was even told, I was like, if you want to go down there, you can, probably work yourself down there. But I was a kid in junior high school. Uh, I knew I was not uh, big enough to go hang out with the big kids. I was like, I'm gonna just watch the show from up here. I see what's going on down there, and you know, I don't know about that. I don't know about all that noise. But yeah, that it was a good show, and Billy Joe even had gone. They had switched instruments, and he went back there and showed off his drumming skills too, which I didn't at the time. I didn't know that he played the drums as well. Sandy goes on to say, "Yep, it works when it works, and when my brain is blown, all I can do is go outside and scream." Yeah, gotta get it off my chest. How we deal with our emotions. That is important to not have it boil over or come out. Where you display emotions towards others that don't really deserve it, because that's what people are in habit of. Like, uh, there are news things that I see in news articles, or you know, where it's just people totally snapping, or like, you know, Kendra coming home and talking about certain customers and the way they handle their business. Um, and I really try to do, whenever I'm out in public, to be nice to those who are working. At least if I'm not being nice to them, I'm not giving them any problems or any flack either. Um, Try not to do that kind of stuff. Um, they would call the cops on you. No, no, you should be able to let it all out, scream it all out. Not up there, they won't. I'm screaming at the developers right now, huh? and nobody can hear you above the excavators. Yeah, it gets the if you're working around a lot of heavy machinery and stuff, that is like you might as well consider me deaf at that point and trying to talk to me while there's other sounds going off. It's like it's difficult for me to uh, parse the two out and understand. I get to where I'm like trying to read lips. I'm like, I think you're hinting at, come on, let's go over here. I cannot hear you. I don't, no comprende. Dave is saying, I had the red eye in first hour one day. The teacher asked, what did you do this morning? I broke in the song in class. I woke up, fell out of bed, dragged a comb across my head. I do that quite a bit with music. There's like a lot of people that will do movie quotes and stuff, which I do as well. But there are moments where I just see something that happens in the song will pop up into my mind, and I can't help but share it at times. Uh, yeah, native atheist. Good morning. Hello. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Oh no, I want to hear the songs that you have going on in your head. I like being turned on. I literally have times where I will go on searches for uh, people that are not, part of the mainstream feed, and go find bands and people that are making music like currently, like um, and I like to listen to songs that maybe I haven't heard for a long time, or just they were off my radar, Sandy. So I say share it, share it. This is a place where we can share. We can share our thoughts. Tobin is not minimizing. Hmm. Dave says, I like listening Sinam Tom Core, if I pronounce that right. If I were ever to be religious, it might be Sikhism. Right on. Yeah, those kind of ideas, they're not totally off base. I'm not someone who ascribes. I'm sure all of y'all know I don't subscribe to any of the supernatural or God claim stuff, but there are those ideas that come from there that are useful, and that's what I would say. Like philosophically, I'm pragmatic. I like things to have some kind of use, for it to be useful, for me to even really think it's worth learning about. Um, all right, check you later, Dr. Mordecai. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for visiting. Whoa, this is my first time to look up at the clock. Been going for an hour and 15 minutes. You got to go and do something. That's cool. Sandy's off doing paperwork and stuff. Oh, thank you, Dave. I did pronounce that all right. Yeah. Actually, I think I think I might as well shut it down for today. But I'll definitely be back around, and I'd like to encourage uh, y'all. I did release a music video. It was fun making. I was uh, I would like to encourage y'all to go and listen and see my little puppeteering video that I did. Check that out. It's for humor. It's for joy. Um, but yeah, I wish y'all well being and thank y'all for hanging out with me. I appreciate this being able to interact with y'all. It helps me wake up, and I think it helps my productivity. You know, getting that to hang out and then go on with the day and go get some stuff done. But thank y'all for joining me. I appreciate it. I wish y'all all well being, and I'll see y'all next time.